Hey, greetings, game changers. This is Classic Games Redefined. My name's Rich, and I'm looking at another one of my games on half a checkerboard. This game here is L-Gammon. It's a game in the Backgammon family, and with the same goal to bear off all your pieces. Like in other games I've done, you have a home space where the piece enters, and it tries to navigate the board. The object of the game is you want to get all your pieces on the board, and then you're going to bear them off by having an exact count by hitting the enemy, hitting the opponent's space, opponent's home base area. This is the opposite. I mean, your base that you start on, your home base, is the marked by the opposite color. It's not normally part of. I'm just using ghost stones to show that's what the target is. So you can use a complete checker set and half a checkerboard here. So the pieces will enter the board, and then they move in a straight line either this way or that way, and then they can make an L shape. You can do a bend that way. You can't do a zigzag, you can't do an S. You don't have to bend if you don't want to. You can go in a straight line. The amount of pieces you can have in a space is up to 4. Like that. Now regarding moving, you're going to roll the dice. You would roll the dice and then you drop them down here, and then you can do 1, 2, 3, or 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Make that one bend and go that way. Pieces can only land on a stack of pieces that are up to 4 high of one color. If, for example, we have this here, 3. You're allowed to land on it. But if there, let's say there are 4 there, and we're talking about on your own. I'll explain in a minute what happens about interacting with opposing pieces. 4, you're not allowed to drop a 5th. You could pass over it, though. So, you have that there. And regarding opponent's pieces, let's say this piece is here. Comes on the board. And remember, you could do a 1 and then enter the board that way. The capacity is 4. By the way, when bearing off, and I'll explain in a minute, if there are pieces in the home area you could land on and still come off the board anyway. But let's say, just want to give that idea here. But anyhow, you can go 1 like that. That's 4. So you could pass over it. We're doing the 4 roll now. So you're passing over 1. If there was a second piece in there, you couldn't pass on it. You also, the only type of space you can land on that your opponent has is 1 piece. 1. Like that. And then it comes off the board. And it goes back in the home area. So it stacks up to 4 high. Stacks up to, actually, I'm going to go ahead. Stacks up to 2 high of an opponent you can't pass through. Stacks up to 4 high. Stacks up to 3 high you can land on if they're your own. Anything 4 can go above it. A single piece in an area can be passed over by a player. So what it does is this takes the dynamics of backgammon and makes it 2-dimensional. Now, how does the game end? I mean, how do you remember when I said bearing off? If you have it here, like this. Let's say the pieces are on the board. I'm going to put them in different spaces, for example. Let's just, for some reason I have it like that. Before that fits on. There we go. I'm going to put this here. Let's say I get all my pieces on the board. Usually they'll go to the outside. That's one thing. If I end up like the white piece going that way, remember the black pieces come this way. If I go up like this and over, they usually will end up on the outside because you can't come backwards. You can't, if you're in an area towards the outside, you can't move back to the inside. Let's just drop these on the board. See, once these pieces are on the board, like this, you can start bearing them off. To bear off, you have to land exactly on an exact roll. So like this one here, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, actually 1. Let's say this piece here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would have to roll an exact roll 5. This one's 4. If, let's say, for example, this piece were here, that would be a 2, for example. Exact roll. Rolling's considered just like in backgammon. Now we'll get to that. Apologize for jumping around a bit here. I'm just trying to remember the rules, how to do it. What you have here is you have a 4 and 3, so it's considered a move of 4. And then if you want to move it again, you can. You move it 3. So when it hits the 4 space, at that point, then you're going to have to make the interaction what you do with the 3. Also, regarding doubles, let's see if we can do this right. Apparently it doesn't let me do it, so But let's say, for example, we have another 3 here. It's the best bet. Let me do it this way. The way doubles work is they have the same thing with backgammon. You can use it to move 4 pieces. Or what you can do is, remember this area here? We're going to 1, 2, 3. Let's say, remember what I said about the stack, you know, how you couldn't pass through. On a double roll, 1, 1, 2, 3. You can pass over. A double roll allows you to pass through these blockades. That came from play experience because the board had a tendency to lock up. And that's how pretty much it works here. Relatively simple game in backgammon. Pretty much following the rules, except that stacking heights are limited to 4. If you have 2 or more pieces in there that it ends up being blocked, you can't pass through it. That's a blockade. Same thing about going home. They don't start on the board, they start off the board. Let me go ahead and grab these, take this off the board just to go ahead and do this. Drop them here like that. Get them off the board. And doubles work. It works very much like backgammon. This is backgammon, regular backgammon adapted to a TD board. And formula stacks up to 4 high and limitations on stacking size. And that's about it. I apologize for rambling a bit. I'm not going to go into it much longer. That was about enough for the rules. You can play with double and cube. Go ahead. We'll have a link in the description to the actual game. You can go look over the rules. In addition, you can look over the rules. In addition, we'll get some variants in there. So I do want to thank you for watching. May or die. Always roll 5. And remember, don't hate the player. Change the game.